Let me tell you a story about someone named Ari. Ari wasn't a hero, not a warrior, not a chosen one blessed by the stars. Just an ordinary person in an ordinary town, except for one extraordinary burden. Ari carried a suitcase everywhere. Not a regular suitcase, but a massive, overstuffed, exhausting one that squeaked and dragged like it resented every step. People often asked, "Ari, why don't you leave that thing somewhere?" Ari only sighed. "I'm supposed to carry it," they said. But the truth was, Ari no longer knew what was inside, only that it was heavy. Heavy in a way that made life feel slow, suffocating, and exhausting. One morning, after yet another sleepless night, Ari snapped. They stood up, grabbed the suitcase, and walked out of town. No goodbye, no explanation. They simply needed air, distance, space from the noise in their head. The road they followed was long and ancient, a dusty path known as the Road of Echoes. The name wasn't poetic, it was literal. Every step Ari took echoed with whispers from the past. "You should have done better. You always mess things up. Why did you trust them? You're never enough. That memory, it's still your fault." Ari pressed their palms against their ears, but the whispers lived inside the suitcase, inside their mind, inside their chest. Still, they walked. Because something small but stubborn inside, whispered back, "There has to be more than this." By dusk, Ari reached a warm wooden inn glowing softly against the night. A sign above the door read, "The Inn of Second Chances." Before Ari could knock, the door opened slowly. An elderly man with gentle eyes and a knowing smile looked at them. "You look tired," he said. Ari nodded. He glanced at the huge, squeaking suitcase. "Long journey?" he asked. Ari exhaled shakily. "Long life." He smiled the way people smile when they understand things you haven't said aloud. "Well," he said, "rest here. You're safe for the night." Ari woke the next morning to a soft knock. "Come," the old man said. "There's something you need to see." He led Ari down a wooded path until they reached a quiet river, so still it looked like glass. "This is the river of truth," he said. "Look." Ari knelt beside the water. Instead of their reflection, they saw memories. Flickering scenes from years ago. Ari as a child, trying to be perfect. Ari trusting someone who betrayed them. Ari failing at something they cared about. Ari crying quietly so no one would hear. Ari apologizing for things that weren't their fault. Ari carrying guilt meant for someone else. And then, the younger Ari appeared in the reflection. Tired, fragile, trying so hard. The younger Ari looked straight at them and whispered, "Why are you still carrying everything I went through?" Ari's throat tightened. "I thought I had to." The younger Ari shook their head. "You don't. I didn't know better back then, but you do now." Ari staggered back, heart pounding. The old man placed a comforting hand on their shoulder. "Come," he said quietly. "Let's open your suitcase." Back at the inn, the heavy suitcase sat in the corner, silent but undeniably alive with tension. With shaking hands, Ari opened it. Inside were only papers, crumpled, ripped, faded from years of being touched by pain. Each paper carried a sentence Ari had believed for far too long. "I ruin everything. I'm not worth staying for. It was my fault. I deserved it. I'll never be enough. No one will ever understand me. I don't know how to be better. I'm too broken to be fixed." Ari touched one paper. It disintegrated into dust. The innkeeper spoke softly. "Those words have been hurting you for years, and none of them are true." He led Ari outside where a small fire burned. "Burn them," he said. "Not your past, just the lies you believed about it." Ari's hands trembled, but this time with release. One by one, they fed the papers into the fire. "I ruin everything. Gone. I'm not worth staying for." Smoke carried it away. "It was my fault. Ash, I deserved what happened. The flames consumed it. I don't know how to be better." Vanished. When the last paper disappeared, Ari sank to their knees. For the first time in years, their body felt light, their chest felt open, their soul felt like it had room to breathe. The old man helped them up gently. "You cannot change your past," he said, "but you can stop letting it trap you." Ari wiped their tears. "What do I do now?" they whispered. He pointed toward a distant mountain, tall, quiet, bathed in morning light. "Now," he said, "you climb." So Ari walked toward the mountain, not dragging a suitcase, not drowning in echoes, but with empty hands and a hopeful heart. The climb was steep. The wind was sharp. Their legs trembled. Their breath shook. But without the weight of yesterday, Ari moved differently, steadier, stronger, braver. Each step felt like reclaiming a piece of life that had been stolen. When Ari reached the summit, the world unfolded beneath them. Valleys stretching like open arms, rivers sparkling like promises, a sky wide enough to hold every dream they had ever delayed. Ari stood at the edge, wind brushing their face. A single stone sat there, carved with words, "You are more than what hurt you." Ari touched the engraving and whispered, "I believe that now." With a deep breath, Ari turned away from the past and toward the future waiting below. They walked with a lighter step, a clearer mind, a freer soul. Because the day Ari left their past behind, their life finally began. And from that moment forward, Ari moved into every sunrise with open hands, an open heart, and a spirit no longer shaped by pain, but by possibility. Because once a person learns to let go of yesterday, they become unstoppable.